scatters when you play the beat, A brainiac, in fact,
Welcome to Brainsqueezereactions. Myself, Mark Hector. What are we reacting to now? Method Man, talking Tupac. I love shit like this. I love finding these little videos or yourselves. You send them to me and like, you gotta watch these. Anything where there's Tupac Shakur, I'm fucking there. I'm fucking there with bells on. And what I'm reacting to now is Method Man talking about Tupac Shakur and when he met him. That's got to be a punt. That's got to be a punt to do on Brainsqueezereactions. The way it works on this channel is a pause and discussion. So yes, I'm going to react to this, but also what I'm going to do is pause and talk about it as well. If he says anything interesting, that is what we do. And Method Man is using the same mic that I've got. Just saying, fucking Shure SM07, what the fuck it's called. This motherfucker. Right here. So I'm practically Method Man that's all I'm saying. I know the other dude and the lady is using that, but that doesn't count. I'm saying Method Man. Anyways, comment section for love. It's not for hate. Haters go fuck yourself. We pause, rewind, be kind, or fuck off. Method Man, Tupac. Let's go.
It's Hot 97, Method Man's here.
What can you tell us about working with Tupac? Any stories from that experience?
None, because Tupac wasn't there. But I'll tell you this.
That's fucking brilliant.
Any stories from that experience?
None, because Tupac wasn't there. But I'll tell you this.
They just sent you the record.
Now keep it 100, right? Because if y'all know, Pac was locked up, right?
Yeah.
When Pac came home, this is how 100 Death Row kept it with him. When Pac came home, whatever material Dog Pound had, Dre had, Snoop had, any of them had, they gave to Pac so he could do his album. So that's why when you listen to the album, California Love was supposed to be on Dre's album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The one that I'm on with Corrupt and Red, and that's supposed to be for the Dog Pound album. And Rage was in the spot that Pac was in. And Deck was on the record also. But by the time Pac got on it, you know, but when I met the brother later on down the line, it was at when all this East-West crap was going on, but it wasn't no East-West crap when Bad Boy and Death Row or whatever was going through their little shit. I remember because I was high and I was baked. And you know, I'm baked, but I'm in LA. It's just me. I ain't out there with nobody.
Yeah. So this is a song that yourselves are talking about. Sorry, I was trying to look for a good time to pause. This is a song that yourselves were telling me about that is Tupac and Wu-Tang. Tupac and Wu-Tang are on the track. Something like that. Or obviously Method Man's on it. Redman, who I've now learned isn't part of Wu-Tang. But did he say that Tech was meant to be on that?
It was at when all this East-West crap was going on, but it wasn't no East-West.
Sorry, he said someone was going to be on it, but then they weren't.
You know what I'm saying? The one that I'm on with Corrupt and Red, and that's supposed to be for the Dog Pound album. And Rage was in the spot that Pac was in. And Deck was on the record also.
Deck, so Inspector Deck. So Inspector Deck was meant to be on that. Have I got that right? But then he got taken off because of something that was taking place with Tupac. I'm trying to catch up.
Though. But by the time Pac got on it, you know, but when I met the brother later on down the line, it was at when all this East-West crap was going on, but it wasn't no East-West crap when Bad Boy and Death Row or whatever was going through their little shit. I remember because I was high and I was baked. And you know, I'm baked, but I'm in LA. It's just me. I ain't out there with nobody.
Y'all had a mansion out there. Remember that?
Yeah, we did, but we didn't have no mansion then. It was just meth out there. Like, boom, I'm in here, right? So I remember sitting up in one of the booths. You know how House of Blues is set up. I'm sitting in one, and this is the pre-Soul Train party. So I'm sitting up in one of the booths, and I'm just like looking around at everything, and I'm starting to feel the tension. Before that, I wasn't feeling the tension. I mean, we was even, the plane coming to LA, Suge was on our fucking plane.
Love.
You know what I'm saying? So it was all love. I'm in there and just tension. It just felt weird. And I remember seeing Puff come through. That's where it started for me at. Because I remember seeing Puff come through, and Puff had like 5 bodyguards with him. And this is like one of the only times Puff ever stopped to speak to me. You know what I mean? Really? Like, yeah, back in them days. During those days. You know, Big was still alive, whatever. This was one of the time first stopped to speak to me and shit. So, you know, I felt a little uneasy, like, what the fuck was that about? Puff don't do that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to shake it off, and I'm sitting up in the booth, and I remember somebody snapped.
I love the way that what Method Man is saying is that he didn't start feeling weird until fucking Cream Puff Pastry came over to fucking talk to him with his bodyguards, and then he started feeling a bit, like you said, to brush that shit off. I feel you, mate. I feel it. That's like a fucking disease that you just needed to flick away, man. Those are fleas that you do not need.
To me and shit. So, you know, I felt a little uneasy, like, what the fuck was that about? Puff don't do that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to shake it off, and I'm sitting up in the booth, and I remember somebody snapped me out of funniest thing. Funniest person ever snapped me out of it. Latifah came through. For Dolo. And you know La got that bop. Like, man, that's you, Method Man? What the fuck you doing in that corner? I was like, yeah, what the fuck am I doing in this corner? Got up, passed me. I don't want to get fired. You know.
What up, Dana?
What up? And after that, it was just Culiente. To make a long story longer, we on our way out. Lights come on at the end of the party. Party over. Lights come on. I'm blowed now. I'm like, shh. Feel a tap on my shoulder. Turn around. It's Pac. I ain't seen this nigga all night. I ain't know he was even in there. I turn around, Pac there, he's like, yo, wanna holler at, you know, anybody wanna fuck with this Wu-Tang next thing I know, cameras every fucking where. So while he's saying this, I remember an altercation happened with RZA in Vegas, something happened with the chain, and Pac was trying to tell me, you know, if I was there, that shit would have never happened, blah, 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 blah. And I remember looking up, and Suge was like this with the cigar in his mouth, looking down at me like this. So I'm like, damn, I'm just on a plane with this nigga. Why you looking at me crazy right now and shit, you know? So then I look at Pac, and Pac got a whole different face. His face looked like that picture before he died. That face he had.
Oh, this one.
That look. He had that look on his face and shit. You know what I mean? And I remember looking back down.
The look in the car. That's what he's saying. So the look in the car just before he died at the crossing. That's what he's referring to. I love the way Method Man tells stories, by the way. But the way that he pulled the face of Suge Knight, it was fucking gifted. That was perfect on the way he's just described that in the face that he was pulling. But why were they attacking him? So obviously he was talking about the chain being snatched, because I know that happened to Wu-Tang, and then Tupac saying if I was there that wouldn't happen, blah, blah, blah. He skimmed over that, but I know there was a story about that. Comment section to remind me the story about that. But fair play for Method telling this story. It's fucking beautiful. He needs to read children's stories. I'd fucking listen.
That picture.
Room on a Broom
before
with
he
Method
died,
Man.
that face he had.
Oh, this one.
That look. He had that look on his face and shit. You know what I mean? And I remember looking back down, and I couldn't understand anything he was saying after that, because mad shit was going through my head, and I'm looking at the death row piece on his chain. Then he was like, yeah, we gonna all meet up. And I was like, yeah, you know how men do it. We'll handle our business. Walked out. Soon as I walked out the club, Tracy Waples. Love Trey Wap.
Executive label executive. Yeah. Worked behind the scenes for a long time.
She outside in a Benz like, Meth, come on, get in the car. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not making a connection here. And I'm like, oh, that's Puff car. That's Puffy car. Ain't no way I'm getting in that motherfucking car. No fucking way. Even though, you know, I ain't got no beef with Puff, and I ain't got nothing with no East-West shit, but there's no way I'm getting
because then it looks like you picking sides.
Boom,
and
bam.
Boom, bam. Yeah,
Back.
I'll take a cab, thanks.
Son, we went to Pink Dot, right down the block.
Got you a little hot dog.
We were standing. We ain't even going Pink Dot. We standing in the alleyway, rehashing the whole night now. Paranoid as fuck. We expect.
High.
Yeah, high. and I mean, we must have been there for like an hour before we left. Like, you know what? Fuck about it here, man. But it was a bugged out evening. That was when I met Tupac, y'all.
It was and for anybody
mad.
watching, listening to this right now, it was a time. It was a lot of plotting going on.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like, if this one moves like this, I'ma move like this.
Yeah.
Because there was so much money being made on record sales. It was so much money being doled out to Puff, Suge, these labels, to develop acts, to take over the charts, to do this, to do that.
Yeah.
And cats was really playing chess, like who's moving with who? How can I make this look like this? Like
Nothing makes me happier than hearing street smart and smart generally New Yorkers talk about what's happening and looking at a situation.
Well, because
very much amusing.
outsiders would have never thought that Puff and Meth didn't have a relationship like that.
I'll be there
like
for you.
that, no.
Remix that you guys won a Grammy together.
Y'all gotta understand, okay, Puffy the man, like, you know, Sean or whatever and shit, you get him one-on-one, Puff is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. I played Torture with him when I did the song with Big. But Puffy, P. Diddy, and you around a bunch of other motherfuckers, that's Showtime, baby. And I don't blame him, because he got to live up to the persona, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that really is his persona, but like I said, he wasn't the type of person go out his way to speak to you.
That ends exactly as it should end, with fucking Cream Puffy. But fuck that shit. Method Man talking about Tupac is amazing. That's the first time I've ever seen a Method Man interview. So that's fucking amazing to listen to that. He interviews so well in the way he tells the story, and fair play to Hot 97 just allowing him to fucking go through that whole story. But yeah, Fucking brilliant. Comment section, let me know about the Wu-Tang chain snatch thing. I need to know that. And equally, we can see once again, even Method Man is saying that P. Diddy has a persona that he does when there's people around. AKA fake motherfucker.